turn. This partnership of mutual encouragement is a reflection of the harmony and balance we strive for at St. Gregory's Abbey.
Gordon Cooper Technology Center has trade classes for all ages. These programs are not just for our high school students, they are for all ages, and you have the opportunity to get further educated within our community and pick up a trade skill today at Gordon Cooper Technology Center.
Kevin Hanna, Frontier Commercial Group, specializes in both commercial and residential real estate. Whether you're looking to secure the perfect commercial space or find your dream home, Kevin's team helps you achieve your real estate goals. Visit Kevin's interactive website to get started today. Downtown Auto Body works for you with your insurance company to reduce your hassles. Downtown Auto Body is on your side to get your vehicle repaired as it should be, back at top condition. Trust Downtown Auto Body, Main Street, Shawnee. At Hardesty Deli, the food is great and the people are even better. A genuinely local atmosphere. The Oliver family has more than 70 years as butchers with Hardesty. If you're in Shawnee, you gotta stop at Hardesty Deli. Every detail tells a story, every sparkle a memory waiting to be made. At L's Jewelry, timeless craftsmanship meets modern elegance, designed for life's most precious moments. L's Jewelry is Shawnee's friendly jeweler. Good throw gets Bertram. That's smashed, nothing new.
Go time, show time, get on your feet, it's my time. Go time, show time, get on your feet.
Hey Mom, I got hurt playing volleyball and you forgot to pack my ibuprofen. You got hurt? That's okay, you just need some ibuprofen. Go to Eric's Pharmacy around the corner. They should have some.
Fred's Tire and Battery is locally legendary. Known for their friendly family welcomes and just as friendly exits, Fred's can service your vehicle needs. Make Fred's Tire and Battery your first stop when your vehicle needs service. At McElroy and Owens Funeral Group, your loved one never leaves our care. From your first phone call at the time of loss through final resting, we are with you. Stop by McElroy and Owens for a visit today. Get answers to your insurance questions from the insurance guy at the mall, Jim Pierce. As a part of what we do, you know I like to make recommendations of places or people that I think can help in our community. And as I've gotten older and I am closing in on Medicare and insurance needs, I really had a bunch of questions because throughout my life, I really just basically had to sign something and other people would just take care of that aspect of life. I ran into the insurance guy at the mall, Jim Pierce. I got to know him and he made it so easy for me to understand and transition off of a typical type of insurance into the Medicare realm. Man, that relieved a lot of pressure from me. And I thought, you know, I need to tell people about this. I need to tell you, if you are approaching Medicare, if you're approaching the age of 60, or maybe you're older than 60 or late 50s, or if you just have insurance questions about your health insurance, Jim Pierce is really an easy guy to sit down and talk with, and he gives you straightforward answers while you're there. He'll ask you your information, put it into the computer, and just talk you through different options, and it's no obligation. Nothing did he ever pressure me to actually purchase something from him. But man, he sure gained my trust with the answers that he was able to give me and the peace of mind and peace of heart he was able to give me in this complicated realm of insurance, and especially as I approach 60. I am still just a kid at 60, but Jim Pierce, I recommend to you for any of your health insurance questions. Give Jim a call and let him advise you with your insurance needs. First Med Urgent Care is here, 4010 North Kickapoo, right next door to Mazzio's, open 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. every day. Short wait times if you have to wait at all. Self-check-in, COVID, flu, strep, care, and testing you get at First Med. Great for parents after work because of the long evening hours. Non-emergency, which is life-threatening care, you get here at First Med. Access training, stitches, lacerations, even with broken arms, whatever it is you need, you get it at First Med. Everyone is so nice at First Med Urgent Care, 4010 North Kickapoo. Thank you.
Take care.
All Safe Security. When you go with us, you're all safe. We solve home and business security needs. We install surround sound and can help with Ethernet wiring. Builder packages available. Keep all safe. Go with All Safe Security.
In today's world, fast and reliable internet isn't a luxury. CVEC Fiber is connecting our community with 100% fiber optic internet. From ultra-smooth gaming to crystal-clear video calls, you'll never miss a moment. Visit CVECfiber.com to sign up.
Stewart & Clover Attorneys and Title Company exists to help people. It really is that simple. Whether you have personal or business legal questions or need help navigating land title issues, Stewart & Clover is big enough to solve problems, small enough to care. Great prices sell cars, and Castrokey Auto Mart truly understands that principle. Straightforward pricing with no gimmicks. Located on the corner of Harrison and Jefferson for over 40 years, shop at the lot or online. Castrokey Auto Mart. They're good people. Gear up your family with unique request one-off orders at Bleacher Season online store. That's right, little brother, dad, and mom with clothes and gear unique to your family. A bunch of cool gear to order. Bleacher Season makes your idea a reality. Gear up for the games at bleacherseason.com. ShawneeCTV would like to thank the following community sponsors in helping make this broadcast possible. Sebastian Homes, specializing in exceptional residential properties. Grand Roofing Company. Give David James or Stephen Johns a call. Jeff Chamblin, Farm Bureau Insurance Agent, enjoys helping people. Marco's Pizza. Order faster. Online. Pine Cliff Printers. Making good impressions for you. Robert Owens, McElroy and Owens Funeral Group. City Bites. Grab a bite of great food. McAllister's Deli. What can we make for you? Schlotzsky's for a mouthful of flavor. Find your flavors at Qdoba Mexican Eats. BB Woodworks Player of the Game, every game. Lucky Day Heating and Air Conditioning. Thank you, Corey Crenshaw and crew. Legendary Tenders. Chicken Express. Jersey Mike's, a sub above. Mentoring with a mission. Uplift Mentoring. When your pet is family, pause to remember. Wesley United Methodist Church. Worship, study, serve. Find your flavor at Wingstop, the wing experts. Temple Baptist Church, delighted to serve you. Great Plains Graphics, Shawnee's store for swag. Cazadores, a local favorite Mexican restaurant. Taco Bell, satisfy your cravings. Live Moss. St. Benedict's Church, home for Shawnee football's team meals.
Good evening, Wolves fans. Good to have you guys back in the fold as we are here in the pack for some Shawnee Lady Wolves volleyball. Last home game of the regular season for our Lady Wolves as they welcome in the Racers of Newcastle High School to the pack. Our Lady Wolves are looking to finish up their regular season donning their pink uniforms as we honor Breast Cancer Awareness Month this month. We are thankful for those who are courageously in the fight, and we honor those who are in the fight and still with us in the fight, bringing awareness to breast cancer as our ladies are handing out some roses, donning their pink uniforms, coaches in their pink T-shirts. Again, just a wonderful event raising awareness for breast cancer awareness. We are thankful for our ladies for their acknowledgement and honoring of this special cause. Again, our Lady Wolves are rounding out their regular season. They will be gearing up for the playoffs as they head into regionals next week. I believe they will be at Carl Albert High School on Monday. But tonight their attention is focused on the Newcastle Racers coming in with a record of 12-18. Newcastle is a Class 5A school as well, coming off a win of their own against Noble just last week. So this one should be a very interesting ball game as both teams are making their final regular season touches as they get prepared for the postseason. As they introduce both teams, we have several on hand here joining us in this regular season. But before we get those rosters, we will pay homage to our country with the Star Spangled Banner, our national anthem. Again, we are back at the PAC where our Lady Wolves are set to take the floor in just a moment now against the Newcastle Racers. Last regular season ball game of the year before both teams head into the playoffs. Our Lady Wolves are currently ranked number 10 in Class 5A, donning a record of 16-18. Lady Wolves looking to end the season in the win column, looking to shape up and gear up for the playoffs. Lady Wolves have found themselves in a losing side of things the last few games, not for lack of effort though. Again, they have battle tested all year and have seen some great moments over the course of the year, and so this one shapes up to be a great ball game between the Newcastle Racers and our Lady Wolves. Again, you're watching ShawneeCTV, which is our 89th consecutive season and the 23rd year overall, highlighting our great student athletes here. There's still time to get to the PAC if you're looking for something to do this Thursday evening. You won't find much better entertainment value than high school athletics. And there's several student athletes and other students on hand. I see a handful of our football players. Hats off to them on their big win last week against Booker T. Washington, as they are prepared to take the field again tomorrow against district foe Coweta. So good to have our football players. I see a handful of boys basketball players and a few girls basketball players on hand as well, supporting their fellow student athletes and classmates. And both teams are shaking hands as we look to get this one underway. Our Lady Wolves, coached by Hunter Burnett, again in his second year at the helm. coming off a state tournament appearance in his very first year as the head coach here at Shawnee. And I can tell you that that is the goal and the expectation for this year's team again. And so while we are winding down on the regular season, setting our sights for the playoffs, I know they are looking to build some momentum with the win here this evening. The Racers come in coached by head coach Aubrey Floyd, again 12-18, having won their last game against Noble. And they are as well looking to get things going this evening as they prepare for their playoff push. Starting lineups for our Lady Wolves will be number 6, Molly McGehee. Number 10, Janiyah Bruner. Number 5, Chrissy Milam. Number 9, Aubrey Smith. And number 3, Ava Plumley. So different numbers this evening as opposed to some of their usual numbers. Nonetheless, familiar faces. Same Lady Wolves team. I know they're coming out with the energy that they always do as we look to get this one underway. On the floor for the Racers is number 13, Amber Ellis. Number 3, the libero, Courtney Stewart. Number 11, Brooklyn Dillon. Number 8, Maddie Sheriff. Number 9, Devin Towery. And number 6, Ellie Shell. And the Racers will serve it up first as we are underway. And that one gets put right in play as the Lady Wolves look to draw blood first. And the Racers do return that serve. McGehee over to Bruner, returned by the Racers. Both teams volleying it up right now. Looks like we open up the score with this point by Chrissy Milam. Great teamwork there by our Lady Wolves. A lot of players involved, and Lady Wolves will have the serve here as number 21, Leslie Rich, will be on the serve. And that one's going to go into the net for a service error. So that'll even up the score 1-1. And number 2, Reese Leone, will check in for Rich. Racers will make a sub of their own. Number 7, Emma Woodard, checks in as the Racers have the serve and put it in play. Nice return there by Leone over to McGehee. Up to Bruner for the spike and kill. And that gets the Lady Wolves up off the bench and on their feet. Great setup there by McGehee over to Bruner for the kill. And your score is 2-1 right now as Chrissy Milam takes the serve. Milam gets that one over. Just grazes the net, but is in play. Returned by the Racers. Great dig there by Milam over to McGehee. Sets it up nicely for Aubrey Smith, who gets it over. Great block there by Plumley and Bruner. Wow. Both of them got up at the same time, timed it up very nicely for the block. You love to see that teamwork there by Plumley and Bruner. And we got the replay there. And yeah, right there, just timed it up nicely, Bruner and Plumley, for the block and kill. And that one's going to go out of bounds as Milam looked to try to paint the corner there, just couldn't quite keep it in place. So that one's going to be a service error for our Lady Wolves. So the score is 3-2, still in favor of Shawnee, as the Racers will have the serve now. Great dig there by Moore. Gets it over in play. And Plumley set that one up nicely for Bruner. It just looked like she mistimed her jump. Went up for the spike. And that one's going to go in the net. So the score will be 3-3 early on here in set number 1. Great save there by Moore over to McGehee, who gets it over the net. And that one's going to be misplayed there by the Racers. So the score is 4-3 point Shawnee. And it looks like Janiyah Bruner will now be on the serve. The Southpaw junior will also be donning the court for Coach Wells here in a few months for the Lady Wolves basketball team. But she's utilizing our services now for our volleyball team as McGehee makes a great serve there over to Bruner. Back to Leone, who gets it over the net. McGehee puts it up from Moore over to Leone. And that one's going to go out of bounds. So the score will be 4-4. Tie ball game. Just went outside the net there for Leone. And the Racers will be on the serve. And Leone takes that one out over to Plumley, who gets it up to McGehee. Great block there by McGehee. And I've said it once or twice this year, Molly McGehee is kind of just your Swiss Army knife utility guy, so to speak. Can do a little bit of everything. She can block, she can serve, she can set it up for her teammates, and every now and then gets in the action on her own, as you see there. But just a great timely play by McGehee. And the Wolves will have a 5-4 lead as Aubrey Smith gets the serve. And that one's going to go in the net for the Racers. So the score is 6-4 early for our Lady Wolves. And you can definitely see there's a little pop in their step. Don't know if it's those pink jerseys, but they definitely seem to be locked in right now. And Smith gets it in play. McGehee over the net on the spike, and that's going to be point for the Lady Wolves as Racers hit it too many times. So the score is 7-4 right now as Aubrey Smith will stay on the serve. And just a bit outside on the serve there for Smith, so that one's going to be a point for the Racers. And we'll have a sub for Newcastle, number 8, Maddie Sheriff checking in for number 7, Emma Woodard. And Sheriff will be on the serve. Gets it over the net. Played by Moore over to McGehee. Back to Rich, who gets it over the net. And that one's going to go out of bounds. And looks like the point goes over to Newcastle. So I'm not quite sure how they scored that one. Maybe it was a deflection. And looks like they corrected it there. So the point's going to go actually to Shawnee. So the score 8-5. And Kylie Moore is on the serve for our Lady Wolves. And that's going to be an ace, our first one of the evening, as that gets Coach Hunter Burnett dancing down the sidelines, as you have seen time and time again this year. Great play there, great serve by Moore. So scores 9-5, favor of our Lady Wolves. And Moore's going to be a little strong on that serve. A little bit too much power as that one sailed out of bounds on the service area. So the score is going to go back over to the Racers. And we'll have their libero, number 3, Courtney Stewart, on the serve for Newcastle. And she gets that one over. Nice dig there by Aubrey Smith. And that one just kind of sailed in front of the Lady Wolves. It looked like they all were thinking somebody else was going to make the play, and it just dropped right in front of them. So the score is 9-7 right now, early on here in set number 1. Shawnee with the lead. Racers do get the serve there over the net. Returned by the Lady Wolves over to Milam. She puts it in play. And that one's going to paint the back corner. So scored 9-8. Lady Wolves just crept up a little bit too much, and Newcastle found the open hole in the back right corner. So the score's 9-8 right now. Both teams looking to figure out where they can try to gain some separation, figure out what they can do to exploit the other team's defense. As I always say, the first game is what I consider a feel-out game, trying to get your rhythm and find out what you can do to pull away. That one's going to go out of bounds, though, and that's a point for the Wolves. Looked like it went out of bounds. Newcastle is perplexed, to say the least, as they're looking for some explanation. Myself thought that was out of bounds as well, but clearly the referee, the guy in the white polo, who's ultimately got the better view and the better opinion, says otherwise. And so we will have some kind of discussion by both officials, and they determine that it's going to be a tie or no point either way. And so the serve will stay in favor of Newcastle. The score will be 9-8. And that's going to be returned nicely by Moore. And that one sailed up high, almost hit the scoreboard and dropped right back down. So the score is 10-8, point in favor of your Lady Wolves. Molly McGee with a nice little touch there and caught the Racers off guard and falls in front of them for a point. McGee gets the serve over. And that's going to be a point for Lady Wolves. Chrissy Milam on this kill there. Great play. Timed it up very nicely. As she was set up nicely by Molly McGee, who you see there on the replay. And Milam really getting involved early here as McGee gets that one over. And that's going to be another ace. So the score, 12-8 in favor of your Lady Wolves. Molly McGee with the ace of her own. And that gets Coach Hunter Burnett fired up. McGee gets it over. And that one will be controlled by the Racers. And that one was nicely placed there. Great spike there by the Racers. Lady Wolves just couldn't quite control that one. So the score is 12-9. Racers will be on the serve. Again, you're watching ShawneeCTV, our 89th consecutive season, highlighting these great student athletes here in our community here at Shawnee. And that one's going to go out of bounds on a service error. So the score is 13-9 as number 21, Rich, will be on the serve for our Lady Wolves. She gets that one over, nicely placed, and it will be controlled by the Racers. Back over to Moore. Sets it up for McGee, puts it up for Aubrey Smith. Bruner and Milam on the block. Great hustle there by McGee. Over to Smith, who puts it over the net. And that's going to be a great block there by Milam and Bruner at the net. And we'll see this one again on replay. Milam and Bruner just tag teaming right there for the block. You'll see Milam as well as Bruner again on the basketball floor as well. But right now they are doing some damage on the volleyball court. And great effort there on the dig by Moore. Just couldn't quite get under it. So that one's going to drop in for a point in favor of Newcastle. So the score 14-10. Still in favor of our Lady Wolves as Reese Leone checks back in. And Reese Leone with the play there. Bruner, great block there, and that's going to be 4 hits for the Racers as Bruner timed that one up very nicely, getting the block and really just putting the Racers in a bind as they hit it 4 times. So scores 15-10. Milam will now be on the serve for Shawnee, and she gets that one over the net. It will be returned by the Racers. McGee Over to Leone, back to Bruner. And that was a great team effort there. Milam to McGehee to Bruner. So you can definitely see their chemistry is starting to really build. Clicking on all cylinders right now are the Lady Wolves early on here in set number 1. And Newcastle will take a timeout. We'll take one as well. Remember, together we build community, one season at a time.
The bees and their keeper can communicate. The beekeeper can hear when they're in distress and helps in turn. This partnership of mutual encouragement is a reflection of the harmony and balance we strive for at St. Gregory's Abbey.
Gordon Cooper Technology Center has trade classes for all ages. These programs are not just for our high school students, they are for all ages, and you have the opportunity to get further educated within our community and pick up a trade skill today at Gordon Cooper Technology Center.
Gear up your family with unique request one-off orders at Bleacher Season online store. That's right, little brother, dad, and mom with clothes and gear unique to your family. A bunch of cool gear to order. Bleacher Season makes your idea a reality. Gear up for the games at bleacherseason.com.
And we're back after the timeout. Called there by Newcastle, and whatever was said worked because they score right after the gate, bringing the score 16-11. Lady Wolves were on a bit of a run there before the timeout was called, and I've said it once, I've said it several times, there's nothing better than a well-called timeout. So we'll see how that plays out for the Racers as they are looking to close the gap and score on the deflection there, and that's going to be a point. So the score is 16-12. Racers will still have the serve. Shawnee, though, still ahead as Aubrey Smith returns the serve over to McGee. He puts it in play for Janiyah Bruner. And a great dig there by Kylie Moore. Wow, laid out nicely and kept that one alive. And point goes over to Lady Wolves. So phenomenal effort there by Kylie Moore. Really dove out there, kind of extended an arm, kept it in play. Got it over to McGehee, who set it up nicely for Aubrey Smith and the point. And that's what you want to see when you, at this point in the season, laying it all out in the line, getting everybody involved. And the point there goes to the Newcastle Racers as they are looking to close the gap, down by 4 right now. Our Lady Wolves have a 17-13 lead here in set number 1. And that one's going to be into the net. Just couldn't quite get it over the net there was McGehee. And the score will be 17-14 now, still in favor of our Lady Wolves. And that one was just over the net for an ace for Newcastle. Kylie Moore did lay out again for that one, but couldn't get under it in time. And great serve there, kind of just dropped right in front of the net. That one will be controlled by the Wolves as Moore gets it over, puts it in play. Great dig there by Moore, but it is going to go out of bounds, and so that brings the score to a 1-point lead for Shawnee. 17-16 is your score. And the Racers will be on the serve. And just kept in play by Aubrey Smith. Great effort there on the play, keeping that one alive. And Moore gets another dig there. And Molly McGehee, nicely done there. Looked like she was going one way with it, and last second kind of just brought it back the other way for the point. So the score 18-16 in favor of our Lady Wolves as Aubrey Smith is now on the serve. And we will have a sub for the Lady Wolves. So joining Aubrey Smith on the floor is number 4, Kylie Moore. Well, number 6, Molly McGehee, and there's another ace. So that's 3 on the evening for your Lady Wolves. Also on the floor is number 3, Ava Plumley, number 21, Leslie Rich, and number 13, Lillian Satterfield, getting her first action of the evening as Aubrey Smith stays on the serve. And she puts that one in play, returned nicely by the Racers. Rich going in for the spike, returned by the Racers as Molly McGehee with the spike of her own, and that one's going to be a kill. So the score 20-16 right now, in favor of our Lady Wolves. 4-point lead heading down the stretch here in the opening set. Lady Wolves needing just 5 points to take this first set as Aubrey Smith stays on the serve. And that one's just going to go barely out of bounds. So the score will be 20-17. Still in favor of our Lady Wolves as the Newcastle Racers will be on the serve, and they make a substitution of their own. Checking in for the Racers is number 8, Maddie Scher, for number 7, Emma Woodard. And that one's going to go out of bounds on the service error. Great discipline there by our Lady Wolves, not making a play or an attempt on that one, letting it go out of bounds with the score. And Kylie Moore will be on the serve now for Shawnee. Moore gets that one over and put in play. And what a response there by the Racers as they are able to get a spike and kill of their own. Looking to keep this one close as the score is 21-18. 21-18, still in favor of Shawnee as number 3, Courtney Stewart, the libero for the Racers, will be on the serve, and she gets that one over in play, and that one's going to be an ace for the Racers as the Wolves weren't able to just get that one under control. And so 2-point ball game right now as both teams are within striking distance and taking the first set. Nicely returned there by the Wolves, and that one's going to go out of bounds on the Racers. So the point will go back over to Shawnee. 22-19. Janiyah Brunner checking back in as Molly McGehee will be on the serve for Lady Wolves. And McGehee gets it over. And Coach Hunter Burnett didn't dance, but I'm considering that an ace because that was not returned or played by the Racers. So the score, 23-19. McGehee on the serve. And she gets that one over the net. Put in play. And that is going to be 1, 2, 3, and 4 hits for the Racers, which is a point for Shawnee. And they'll take a timeout. We'll take one as well. You're watching Shawnee Lady Wolves Volleyball on ShawneeCTV.
Kevin Hanna, Frontier Commercial Group, specializes in both commercial and residential real estate. Whether you're looking to secure the perfect commercial space or find your dream home, Kevin's team helps you achieve your real estate goals. Visit Kevin's interactive website to get started today.
In today's world, fast and reliable internet isn't a luxury. CVEC Fiber is connecting our community with 100% fiber optic internet. From ultra-smooth gaming to crystal-clear video calls, you'll never miss a moment. Visit CVECfiber.com to sign up.
Downtown Auto Body works for you with your insurance company to reduce your hassles. Downtown Auto Body is on your side to get your vehicle repaired as it should be, back at top condition. Trust Downtown Auto Body, Main Street, Shawnee. At McElroy and Owens Funeral Group, your loved one never leaves our care. From your first phone call at the time of loss through final resting, we are with you. Stop by McElroy and Owens for a visit today.
We're back after the timeout. Lady Wolves just needing 1 point to claim victory here in the opening set here at the Pack, taking on the Newcastle Racers. 24-19 is your score. Molly McGehee on the serve, and that one's going to be a service error as it goes into the net. So the score will be 24-20. And the Racers find themselves within 5 points of victory here, looking to claim victory here in the opening set. And they'll get this one over, put in play as Kylie Moore makes a great effort there, as does Molly McGehee. And that one's going to go into the net. And so the Lady Wolves will take the point and the set here in set number one. 25-20 is your score. We'll take a quick break and bring you right back for set number two. You're watching ShawneeCTV.
Get answers to your insurance questions from the insurance guy at the mall, Jim Pierce. As a part of what we do, you know I like to make recommendations of places or people that I think can help in our community. And as I've gotten older and I am closing in on Medicare and insurance needs, I really had a bunch of questions because throughout my life, I really just basically had to sign something and other people would just take care of that aspect of life. I ran into the insurance guy at the mall, Jim Pierce. I got to know him, and he made it so easy for me to understand and transition off of a typical type of insurance into the Medicare realm. Man, that relieved a lot of pressure from me. And I thought, you know, I need to tell people about this. I need to tell you, if you are approaching Medicare, if you're approaching the age of 60, or maybe you're older than 60 or late 50s, or if you just have insurance questions about your health insurance, Jim Pierce is really an easy guy to sit down and talk with, and he gives you straightforward answers while you're there. He'll ask you your information, put it into the computer, and just talk you through different options, and it's no obligation. Nothing did he ever pressure me to actually purchase something from him. But man, he sure gained my trust with the answers that he was able to give me and the peace of mind and peace of heart he was able to give me in this complicated realm of insurance, and especially as I approach 60. I am still just a kid at 60, but Jim Pierce, I recommend to you for any of your health insurance questions. Give Jim a call and let him advise you with your insurance needs. At Hardesty Deli, the food is great and the people are even better. A genuinely local atmosphere. The Oliver family has more than 70 years as butchers with Hardesty. If you're in Shawnee, you gotta stop at Hardesty Deli. Every detail tells a story. Every sparkle a memory waiting to be made. At L's Jewelry, timeless craftsmanship meets modern elegance. Designed for life's most precious moments. L's Jewelry is Shawnee's friendly jeweler.
And we're back here at the Pack where our Lady Wolves have just taken the first set, 25-20 over the Newcastle Racers. Great start to the evening in our breast cancer awareness night, our pink out, as our Lady Wolves are donning their pink uniforms. Coaches wearing pink t-shirts, there's pink balloons, and just an all-around great night for volleyball, honoring breast cancer survivors and remembering those who may have gone on. Our Lady Wolves came out with a lot of fight and a lot of energy in that first set, claiming victory over Newcastle. Again, both teams rounding out their regular season this evening as they gear up for the playoffs starting next week in regionals, where our Lady Wolves will be at Carl Albert on Monday evening for their first round regional matchup. Again, the Lady Wolves have found themselves in a lot of different situations this year, which at this point in the season, you want your team to have experienced a lot of tests, right? You want them to have seen both what it feels like to be in a close game and sometimes wanting to feel what it looks like to really assert your dominance. And sometimes it's even beneficial possibly to take an L here or there as you get to learn and really find out about your team. But I do know this, you know, just talking with Coach Hunter Burnett, he is very focused and setting the expectation high for his team, looking to get back to the state tournament as they did last year. And so tonight will be the final regular season game, and you definitely want to build some momentum heading into the playoffs when the stakes raise a little bit. But a great start this evening for our Lady Wolves as we open up set number 2, and Molly McGehee will be on the serve for the Lady Wolves. And that one's going to go just out of bounds for the score, going over to the Racers. Again, both teams Class 5A programs. Shawnee comes in ranked in the top 10 of Class 5A. Newcastle coming in with a record of 12-18, but having some very, very tough outings against some very quality opponents on the year. So they are definitely not to be overlooked this evening, as that's going to be a point for the Lady Wolves. And Janiyah Bruner gets in the action with a great block, as looks like the officials are looking to talk that one over, get some clarity on the situation. Point was taken off the scoreboard as the officials are looking to clear things up, and we'll have a substitution now coming in for the Lady Wolves. That's number 2, Reese Leone. Again, jersey's a little bit different as they're donning those pink uniforms, so not your traditional numbers for some of your Lady Wolves, but nonetheless, the energy, the effort is still the same as Janiyah Bruner gets in on the block there and the point. 2-1 is your score early here in set number 2. And Reese Leone will stay on for the serve, looking to put this one in play. And she does just that by getting that one over. It is returned by the Racers. McGehee over to Milam, back over to Bruner. And that's going to be a point for your Lady Wolves. And Leone will stay on the serve. She's joined by Kylie Moore, Molly McGehee, Chrissy Milam, Janiyah Bruner, and Aubrey Smith. She gets that one over the net, put in play. McGehee over to Milam. Just paints that inside corner there was Milam, and that's a great, great spike there, just getting up, timed up very nicely. And she keeps it in play, as you see here on the replay. McGehee over to Milam, and that's a great tandem there. Great showing of teamwork there by the Lady Wolves, as Reese Leone gets this one over the net and put in play. Great dig there by McGehee. And Moore back to McGehee. Over to Bruner, and that one's going to go out of bounds. So Bruner goes up for the spike, just couldn't keep it in play, and so that one's going to go out of bounds for a point over to the Racers. 4-2 is your score, as the Racers will look to set it up and put it in play. Nice serve there by Newcastle, returned by the Wolves, but that one's going to go out of bounds. So the score is 4-3 in favor of Shawnee early on here in set number 2. And the Racers will still be on the serve as they're able to get that one over the net, put in play, over to Moore, gets it up to McGehee, sets it up for Aubrey Smith. Great reflexes there by Bruner as she's able to control that one, keeping it alive for Lady Wolves. McGehee back over to Bruner, and both teams volleying it up right now. Milam over to Bruner. Great block there by the Racers. And back and forth they go. And that's going to be a point for our Lady Wolves as Aubrey Smith gets the kill there. Score for Shawnee, 5-3. Great play there. Both teams going back and forth, and Aubrey Smith gets the kill. Chrissy Milam on the serve. And couldn't quite get that one over the net, so that's going to go back over to the Racers. And we'll have a few substitutions now as Milam sits down, checks out. Reese Leone checks back in. And the Racers will serve it up. Great dig there. Wow, what a play there by Moore, keeping alive. And what another play there by Bruner, but doesn't look like it got over the net as Bruner ran out of bounds to try to save that one. But phenomenal effort there by Moore and Bruner. Just couldn't quite make the play. Tie ball game here in set number 2, 5-5, as Moore gets under that one. And that one's going to be a point for Our Lady Wolves. Looked like they were just a little bit too close to the net there as the official scores that one in favor of Shawnee. Janiyah Bruner will now be on the serve. And she gets that one over the net, put in play. And that one's going to sail out of bounds, so that's going to be a point for the Lady Wolves. And Janiyah Bruner will still be on the serve here. And she gets that one over the net. And that one's going to be a point for the Lady Racers as that one just sailed in between two Lady Wolves on the back line there. Came in a little hot. So score is 7-6 here in the second set. And that's a nice serve there and return by the Wolves. As Kylie Moore gets another save there. Aubrey Smith gets it over the net. That was going to just paint the inside line there for the score for Newcastle. So the score is 7-7 right now. Anybody's ball game here in the second set. And the Racers will still be on the serve. And that one's going to sail out of bounds for a point for Our Lady Wolves. And we'll have a sub as Roselle Famosu checks back in for number 2, Reese Leone. And number 9, Aubrey Smith will be on the serve for Our Lady Wolves. And that one doesn't get quite over the net, so that's going to be a point back over to the Racers. Evening the score here, 8 apiece in the second set. And looks like that is number 9 serving up for the Racers. Excuse me, number 8. And they'll put that one in play. Molly McGehee, nicely done there. Just dropping it right over the net for the point. See it here on the replay. Just with a nice little touch there. Sometimes that's all it takes. And Kylie Moore gets that one over on the serve and put in play. Will be returned by the Racers. Chrissy Milam. What a play by Chrissy Milam there. Just timed it up very nicely on the kill. Great set up by her teammate there. And she does the rest as the score is 10-8 here in the second set. Kylie Moore will still be on the serve. Milam very much involved early on this evening in the action. And that one's going to be a point for the Lady Wolves, and that gets Coach Hunter Burnett dancing down the sideline for an ace. 11-8. Kylie Moore on the ace, her second one of the evening. And she will stay on the service. And there it is again, ladies and gentlemen. Another ace for Kylie Moore and gets Coach Hunter Burnett up off his feet. 12-8 is the score. 3 times a charm there for Kylie Moore as a 3 aces in a row for Moore. And that's going to bring a timeout to the floor for the Racers. We'll take one as well. You're watching Shawnee Lady Wolves Volleyball on ShawneeCTV.
I feel so sick, and I don't know if I should take ibuprofen or Tylenol.
Go ask Eric.
I can't stop coughing. Surely there's something I can take to make this better.
Go ask Eric.
Wait, I just got new medicine, and I don't know if I'm allowed to have caffeine with it.
Go ask Eric. Fred's Tire and Battery is locally legendary. Known for their friendly family welcomes and just as friendly exits, Fred's can service your vehicle needs. Make Fred's Tire and Battery your first stop when your vehicle needs service.
And we're back here after the timeout called by the Racers as Kylie Moore is on fire right now and serving 3 aces in a row, bringing your score to 13-8 in favor of our Lady Wolves here in the second set. So Moore will still be on the serve. We will see if she can go 4 in a row. As she gets that one over the net, it will be controlled and put in play for the Racers, but not to be outdone was Chrissy Milam on the block there, getting a point of her own. So the score is 14-8 in favor of Shawnee, and the Lady Wolves are on a bit of a run now, led by Kylie Moore and her serving, with her teammates helping her out there on the defense. So Moore gets this one over the net, put in play. It will be controlled by the Racers, put back over. Molly McGehee on the spike. Great effort there. Was controlled by the Racers. And that's going to be a point for the Racers as they are able to keep that one in bounds just on that inside line. And so your score is 14-9. Lady Wolves have a 5-point lead here in the second set. Looking to extend it here, going up 2-0 this evening. And Kylie Moore makes the attempt. Probably could have let that one go out of bounds, although those are sometimes hard to judge as they could very easily drop inside the line. So you love the effort there by Moore. Just couldn't quite control it as it was coming in hot and was right there on that line. So the score is 14-10, still in favor of our Lady Wolves. And that's going to be a service error on the Racers. And so the score 15-10. Janiyah Bruner checks back in, and Molly McGehee will now be on the serve for Shawnee. Again, if you're just joining us, Lady Wolves donning their pink uniforms as they have a pink out tonight in honor of breast cancer awareness. I found myself a time or two tonight catching myself from saying the navy and white as they were wearing pink, and that's going to be a point for Shawnee. Whether they're wearing pink, navy, white, whatever, they are playing well tonight as they have a 16-10 lead here over the Racers. Molly McGehee will stay on the serve for Lady Wolves. And McGehee gets that one over. The net put in play, returned by the Racers. And that's going to be a point for the Racers. Looks like Milam touched it twice there. Timed it up on the kill, and it came right back. So she tried to hit it back, but you can't do that one. Fortunately, you can only hit it one time in a row. So that's going to be a point for Newcastle. And that's going to be another point for the Racers as Molly McGehee looked to tip that one up, but came right back down. So the score is 16-12. Still in favor of the Lady Wolves. As that one's going to be controlled by the Lady Wolves. Chrissy Milam, McGehee, and Moore getting involved, and that's going to drop right in front of Kylie Moore. She made a great attempt to try to dig that one out, but couldn't quite get under it. So the score is now 16-13 Racers making a run of their own. And again, volleyball is very much a game of runs. A lot can change. The momentum can shift in just the blink of an eye. So you have to be able to weather the storm and withstand some adversity. And speaking of plays, that's Chrissy Milam making a play there. Very timely block and getting the point for Lady Wolves. So the score is 17-13. Favor of Shawnee. We'll have number 2, Reese Leone, on the service right now for Shawnee. And she gets this one up and put in play. And that's going to go out of bounds for an ace. That's the 5th or 6th one by my count this evening. Great serve there by Leone. And she'll retain the service. Leone gets that one put in play. And that's going to go out of bounds. Great instincts, great discipline right there as Molly looked like she was going to go after it, but lets it go out of bounds. And so that's going to bring the score 19-13 in favor of Shawnee. 6-point lead for our Lady Wolves as Leone will stay on the serve. And she does get that one over, put in play. Great block there by Milam and Bruner for the point, 20-13. They timed that one up excellent. See that one again here on replay. Great block there by Milam and Janiyah Bruner. So the score 20-13 right now. Leone gets it in play. The Racers do get that one over, but that's going to go out of bounds and sail over the railing for a point. Shawnee. Lady Wolves within 5 points of taking this second set here. Looking to extend their match lead 2-0. Racers looking to keep things interesting, though, with the point of their own. Great spike there by Newcastle. So they'll get the point, and that's going to bring the score up to a 7-point deficit, still in favor of Shawnee. And the Racers will be on the service here. And it's going to be put in play. Moore over to McGehee to Bruner. And that's going to be a great block there by Newcastle. So they'll get the point there and the score. So the score is now 21-15. Again, both teams rounding up their regular season with their final game of the season, heading into the playoffs. Regionals take place next week. Our Lady Wolves will be at Carl Albert High School Monday evening. Looking to build momentum heading into the playoffs with the win this evening. And that's going to go out of bounds on the Racers. And that's going to be a score and point for Shawnee. So your score is now 22-15. Lady Wolves need just 3 points to take this second set. 3 points away from going up 2-0. And back and forth we go here as Aubrey Smith with a great dig there and was blocked there by the Racers for the point. So that's going to be a score for the Racers. As Milam checks in for number 11, Chloe Smith, who saw her first action of the evening. And so we'll have Plumley, Bruner, McGehee, Aubrey Smith, Kylie Moore, and Reese Leone on the floor for the Wolves now. Aubrey Smith gets involved and takes matters into her own hands and scores it for the Lady Wolves. And so the score's 23-16. Lady Wolves need just 2 points to claim victory in this second set. Bruner gets the serve over, put in play. Bruner sets it up for McGehee, who takes it over the net. Returned by the Racers, and they'll score that one. Aubrey Smith with the big attempt, could not quite get there, so that's going to be a point for the Racers. The Racers are not far behind, closing the gap here, looking to keep things interesting in this second set as they get that one over and put in play. And that's going to be a point for your Lady Wolves as Molly McGehee with the touch. So the score is 24-17. 1 point away from victory here are the Lady Wolves as Aubrey Smith will look to bring this one home on the service. And she gets that one over the net and put in play. Great dig there by Moore. Both teams volleying and battling right now and looking to score it. Roselle Famosu gets that one over. And that's going to be a point for your Lady Wolves. And so that's going to be the second set victory for Shawnee. 25-17 is your score. And the Lady Wolves are up 2-0 in this one. We'll take a quick timeout and bring you back for set number 3. You're watching Shawnee Lady Wolves Volleyball. Together we build community one season at a time.
All Safe Security. When you go with us, you're all safe. We solve home and business security needs. We install surround sound and can help with Ethernet wiring. Builder packages available. Keep all safe. Go with All Safe Security. Stewart & Clover Attorneys and Title Company exists to help people. It really is that simple. Whether you have personal or business legal questions or need help navigating land title issues, Stewart & Clover is big enough to solve problems, small enough to care. Call Air Force One today and let comfort take flight. Muirhead family owned, serving all of Shawnee. Homes, businesses, expert service on all brands. Air Force One, where your comfort comes first. Great prices sell cars, and Castricke Auto Mart truly understands that principle. Straightforward pricing with no gimmicks. Located on the corner of Harrison and Jefferson for over 40 years, shop at the lot or online. Castricke Auto Mart, they're good people. Good throw, gets Bertram. And that's smashed. Nothing new.
Gordon Cooper Technology Center has trade classes for all ages. These programs are not just for our high school students, they are for all ages, and you have the opportunity to get further educated within our community and pick up a trade skill today at Gordon Cooper Technology Center.
Kevin Hanna, Frontier Commercial Group, specializes in both commercial and residential real estate. Whether you're looking to secure the perfect commercial space or find your dream home, Kevin's team helps you achieve your real estate goals. Visit Kevin's interactive website to get started today. At McElroy and Owens Funeral Group, your loved one never leaves our care. From your first phone call at the time of loss through final resting, we are with you. Stop by McElroy and Owens for a visit today.
And we're back here at the PAC where our Lady Wolves have a 2-0 series lead over the Newcastle Racers, taking that second set with a score of 25-17. Lady Wolves looking to be clicking on all cylinders right now as they round out their regular season heading into the playoffs next week. Newcastle will open it up with the serve here in the third set. What could be the final set of the regular season here for both teams. And the Racers will score first with a point of their own. So again, both teams heading into the playoffs. Our Lady Wolves will be at Carl Albert High School on Monday, taking on a team that yet to be determined. Still trying to figure that out. Once I do, I will be sure to let you all know. 5:15 is the time. I do know that much. And that's going to go in favor of the Racers. It looked like it was out of bounds there. Thought it went out of bounds, but the officials scored in favor of Newcastle. So the Racers taking what, from my recollection, is their first lead of the evening. Up 2-0 here early on in the third set. And that's Milam and Bruner again with the block. And so that's going to get the Wolves on the board here as Reese Leone checks back in. And she will now be on the serve. So the score 2-1 here early on in the third set. Leone doesn't quite get enough air on that one, so that's going to be a point for the Racers. 3-1 is now your score. Again, fall sports full tilt. Some of them coming down the home stretch of their regular season. Again, hats off to our softball team who had a great year this year. Cross country finishing up their season, heading into playoffs, and football about at the halfway point in their season as they are looking to take on Coweta tomorrow here at Jim Thorpe Stadium. You'll find that game here on ShawneeCTV. So make sure you tune in and follow along as we'll be on the call tomorrow evening. Scores 3-2 in favor of Newcastle as Chloe Smith checks in. She'll be on the serve for your Shawnee Lady Wolves. Great attempt there by Smith. She just could not quite get enough on that one. So that's going to be a point for the Lady Racers, and the score will be 4-2 in favor of Newcastle. Milam and Smith check out. Aubrey Smith and Molly McGehee check back in. Moore over to McGehee, back to Bruner, who gets that one over the net. And that's going to go out of bounds, so the point will go over to Newcastle. So the Racers have a 3-point lead early on here in the third set. 5-2 is your score. And they'll put that one over the net. And that's going to be a point for your Lady Wolves. And so Molly McGehee doing what Molly McGehee does there, just kind of making a play out of nowhere, taking matters into her own hands. And Janiyah Bruner will now be on the serve for Shawnee. And she gets that one over for an ace. That's the 7th ace of the evening for the Lady Wolves. And that's going to be another ace. So that's going to tie the ball game up as Bruner, 2 aces in a row, looking to tie her teammate Kylie Moore for 3 in a row. Can she do it here? And she does. What a play there by Bruner on the service. So the lead taken back over by the Wolves at the hands of Janiyah Bruner. Great serving there by Bruner. 3 in a row. And she'll get that one over, put in play, and it was returned by the Racers. But that's Molly McGehee and Ava Plumley on the block there. Wow. They were well above the net on that one. Great play there by Ava Plumley and Molly McGehee. Great dig there by Moore. And that one's going to sail just a little bit out of bounds for Bruner, and that's going to be a point back over to the Racers. So the score is 7-6 here in the third set. Wolves take a 1-point lead. And looked like they were just trying to figure out whose ball that one was, and kind of had to make a play at the last second was Reese Liloni, and could not keep that one in play. So the score is 7-7, tie ball game here. And Moore gets that one over the net. Great dig there by Kylie Moore. And Molly McGehee will put it over the net. And that's going to go out of bounds, so the point will go back over to our Lady Wolves. And Roselle Formosa checks back in for number 2, Reese Leone. And number 9, Aubrey Smith, will be on the serve for Shawnee. And she's able to get that one over and put in play. And that one's going to go out of bounds again for the Racers. So the score will be 9-7 in favor of our Lady Wolves. And Aubrey Smith gets that one over for an ace. And I've lost my count, but I know it's more than 7 at this point. So some great serving on behalf of our Lady Wolves this evening. Several Lady Wolves involved with an ace of their own. And that one's going to sail just out of bounds for Aubrey Smith. But the score is 10-8 in favor of Shawnee over the Newcastle Racers. The Racers looking to extend their evening by winning this set down 2-0 here in the third set. Molly McGehee, just a very high IQ play right there. 2 Racers jumped up for the block attempt. Molly McGehee goes right by them for the point there. And the score is 11-8. And that's a great block there by the Racers as they are able to get back on the board and get a point there for the Racers. So the score is 11-9. Still in favor of Shawnee. Number 3, Courtney Stewart for the Racers will be on the service. Played by the Wolves, and that's going to be a point. Nope. There it is. Now it's a point. Thought it was going to be a point, and the Racers were able to make a play there, but could not keep it in bounds, and so that's going to be score for our Lady Wolves. 12-9 is the score. Molly McGehee still on the service for Shawnee. And she gets that one over and put in play. And a great spike there by the Racers. Could not be controlled by Shawnee. And so the score 12-10 about midway through this third set. Great dig there by Aubrey Smith. And just inside that sideline was that one. So that's going to be a point for the Racers as Newcastle's looking to close the gap and retake the lead here in set number 3. Great teamwork as 2 Lady Wolves go after that one. Both of them hit at the same time, but get the job done and keep things alive as Moore to McGehee to Formosu for the score. And what a play there by Roselle on the kill. And So the score is 13-11. And just couldn't quite get under that one. So that's going to be a point for the Racers. 13-12 is the score. Wolves hanging on to a 1-point lead. As the Racers will be back on the serve. Moore with the great dig there over to McGehee, to Milam. Great dig there by the Racers, and that's going to be Bruner. Milam on the block. And so that's going to be a point for Our Lady Wolves. 14-12 is your score as Chloe Smith checks in. And something to note for Our Lady Wolves is they are obviously focusing on this year, this moment heading into the playoffs, but with just one senior on the team, they have a lot of returners coming back for next year who will have tons of experience, which obviously bodes well for them in the future. But they are ready and looking to do some special things this year heading into the playoffs. And that's going to go out of bounds for Bruner, as she couldn't quite keep that one in play. So the score is 14-13 right now. Wolves hanging on to a 1-point lead. And the service will be in favor of the Racers. Anybody's game here in the third set. And that's going to be put in play. Well played there by Aubrey Smith over to Bruner, who gets it over the net. Back over to the Racers, who return it. Smith to McGehee, who takes it into her own hands. And line judge scores it in favor of Shawnee. And so Molly McGehee painting that inside corner, back left corner for Lady Wolves on the score. And so they have a 2-point lead here in the third set. 15-13 is your score. Again, you're watching ShawneeCTV in our 89th consecutive season, highlighting our great student athletes here at Shawnee High School. Lady Wolves looking to finish things off this evening in 3 sets, but Newcastle not to go away without a fight. Both teams battling right now, and that's going to be a point for the Racers as they are able to get the block there. And Janiyah Bruner will check out. Lillian Satterfield checks back in. Aubrey Smith over to Satterfield to Ava Plumley, who gets it over the net. Back to the Racers. Great dig there by Satterfield. Back to McGehee, over to Aubrey Smith. And great spike there and kill for the Racers as they even the score at 15 all here in set number 3. Moore back over to Satterfield, and Molly McGehee looking to get that one, just couldn't quite get it over the net. And so the score is 16-15 in favor of Newcastle. Again, Wolves have not found themselves down much tonight, but this third set has proven otherwise as Newcastle has had the lead a time or two. But things will even back up here as that one's going to go out of bounds on the service area for Newcastle. And so the Wolves will get the point. Formosu checks back in. Aubrey Smith on the serve. She does get that one over the net, put in play. And that's going to be a great spike there for the Racers, and they get the point. And so the score is 17-16. 17-16 is the score in favor of the Racers. That one's not going to get over the net there by the Lady Wolves, and so the score is 18-16. Both teams closing the gap within 10 of the win. That one's going to go out of bounds in favor of Shawnee. So the score 18-17 Newcastle, with number 4 Kylie Moore on to serve. Again, Moore had 3 aces in a row last set. And she gets that one over and put in play for the Racers. Back over to Satterfield. So Moore finished off by Roselle Famosu. So the score is 18-all. Heading down the home stretch here, third set. Lady Wolves looking to put this one away. That one just over the net for Moore is returned, and she couldn't quite control that turn and hits it twice, and so that one's going to be a point for Newcastle. Both teams now inching towards that 25-point marker here in the third set. 19-18 Newcastle right now, as their libero number 3 Stewart will be on the serve. She gets out and play. And Molly McGehee, just very timely plays for McGehee. Goes up for it, looking like she's going to go spike it, and just drops it over the net. So score is 19-all, as McGehee would now be on the serve. Points at a premium right now heading into the home stretch. And that's going to be a point for our Lady Wolves. And so the score is 20-19, lead taken back by Shawnee. So the Lady Wolves need just 5 points to close out this set and match this evening, while the Racers are looking to extend things with the win of their own. And that's going to be a point for the Racers as they go up for the spike, and block attempt was made by Bruner, but deflected out of bounds. And so the score is 20-20 here in the third set. And they get it over, put in play. And Molly McGehee, just very deceptive with her touch there. Looked like she was setting it up for a teammate and just takes it right over the net. And kind of stunned the Racers there, as they thought it was going to be either out of bounds or set up for a teammate, and she just drops it right over the net. So the score is 21-20. Both teams within 5 points of a victory here, as Reese Leone gets that one over the net, put in play. And that one's going to be back left corner again by the Racers for the point. And so that's going to even things up at 21 apiece. Both teams now inching towards a win. And now it's going to be put in play. Reese Leone on the return. Aubrey Smith takes it over the net. And that one's going to be a point for the Racers, as they're able to just drop that one over the net in similar fashion to what McGehee just did. So the score is 22-21 in favor of the Racers. Leone to McGehee to Milam for the point. So the score is 22-22. Ava Plumley checks in. Chloe Smith checks in. 22-22. Coach Hunter Burnett does take a timeout. We'll take one as well with him. You're watching Shawnee Lady Wolves Volleyball on ShawneeCTV, where together we build community, one season at a time.
Downtown Auto Body works for you with your insurance company to reduce your hassles. Downtown Auto Body is on your side to get your vehicle repaired as it should be, back at top condition. Trust Downtown Auto Body, Main Street, Shawnee. Every detail tells a story. Every sparkle a memory waiting to be made. At L's Jewelry, timeless craftsmanship meets modern elegance, designed for life's most precious moments. L's Jewelry is Shawnee's friendly jeweler. Get answers to your insurance questions from the insurance guy at the mall, Jim Pierce. As a part of what we do, you know I like to make recommendations of places or people that I think can help in our community. And as I've gotten older and I am closing in on Medicare and insurance needs, I really had a bunch of questions because throughout my life, I really just basically had to sign something and other people would just take care of that aspect of life. I ran into the insurance guy at the mall, Jim Pierce. I got to know him and he made it so.
And we're back live after the timeout. 22 all here in the third set. Point goes back over to Our Lady Wolves. So the score is 23-22. Coming down the home stretch, Chloe Smith will now be on the serve for Our Lady Wolves, looking to win this set and the match here this evening. And she's able to get that one over the net, put in play. Aubrey Smith to McGehee. Over the net for the point. So the score 24-22. Lady Wolves find themselves just 1 point away from winning this one and closing out the regular season at home with the win. Chloe Smith gets that one over the net, put in play. Returned by the Racers, and that's going to be a point for the Lady Wolves, and that's going to end things this evening for the Lady Wolves. 25-22 is your final score. Great effort by both teams, battling it out there. That last set especially was down to the wire, but your Lady Wolves take this one in 3 sets, concluding their regular season and their home stretch here with the win on Pink Out, Breast Cancer Awareness Night. Great atmosphere here in the pack. We will see these Lady Wolves back in action on Monday night at Carl Albert, where they'll be in their regional matchup heading into their playoff push and state tournament quest. This has been a fun one to call. We'll see these Lady Wolves here again next week. Again, you're watching ShawneeCTV, where together we build community, one season at a time. Good evening.